Between languages, sometimes the exact same word can mean something totally different. For example, in English, the word gift means present, to give something. But in German, the word gift means poison. Wow, what a difference. Similarly, many common English words are used in science but mean something else. This is part of what makes scientific papers seem so complex, because it can leave you feeling like, okay, I understand all the words, but it doesn't make any sense. In this video, I'm going to share 5 such vocabulary words in the field of molecular biology that often show up in scientific papers. 1. Expression. Often you'll see this following another term, such as gene expression or protein expression, and in this context, expression refers to making or producing something. In the case of protein expression, the cell is making certain proteins. With gene expression, the molecules and things encoded in certain genes are being produced. 2. Global. The word global can be used differently depending on the exact field of study. For example, global ecology in fields that examine global changes and trends in things such as climate, illness, etc. But in molecular biology, often when used in the context of things inside the cell, for example, global gene expression, it means looking at all of the different gene products that are being made in the cell, using technologies such as RNA sequencing or microarrays. Think of it this way. Imagine the cell is an entire world. We want to make a list of all of the different names being used for people in this world and how many people are named each one. This global name analysis would likely yield a ton of different names and data. Alternatively, we could just count the number of people named Bob. This would give a much more manageable amount of data, but we would only know about the Bobs. We wouldn't identify any new names or learn anything about the diversity of names in the world. Moving on to number 3, pathway. Similar to a pathway in the conventional sense that shows how to get from point A to point B, a pathway in biology shows the interactions between proteins and cellular machinery that lead to a specific outcome, such as a change in cellular behavior. But inside the cell, a pathway isn't really just a linear one-way street. Rather, a biological pathway has lots of twists and turns like a movie plot, where the characters represent the proteins and cellular molecules. Interactions between the characters and their decisions and the plot are all interconnected and come together to create the final ending, which could always lead to a sequel. Often, scientists still try to draw out a mapping of these interactions and predicted outcomes, sort of like a subway map, but as you might have guessed, pathways in cells can get very complicated. 4. Signaling. When we say signaling, we're talking about how external information like nutrient levels, presence of toxins, other proteins secreted by cells, changes cellular behavior. Signaling basically refers to the cues that trigger the pathways. You'll often hear the term signaling pathway, which means that there is an initial signal that's received by the cell that triggers a chain reaction of protein interactions within the cell that results in changes in gene expression that cause changes in cellular behavior. 5. Regulation. But what controls cellular signaling? What causes a cell to produce certain proteins or gene products? How are all these processes regulated? This could be through a variety of means, such as environmental cues, the balance of different proteins in the cell, and chemical signals. One of the most intriguing questions in biology is how a clump of cells can form into an exceedingly complex and conscious person. The many ways this process is regulated will undoubtedly continue to be uncovered by science. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. What other science terms or concepts would you like to see here? Drop them in the comments. And remember,